and that's good for a Chicago Bears first down. Guys, what an absolutely thrilling victory that the Chicago Bears managed to pull off on the road in Cincinnati. This game had it all. 47-42, 89 total points scored. And I got to be realistic. I thought that this may have been one of the worst losses I had witnessed in my life. When they got the ball back on the onside kick, I knew they were going to score a touchdown there. The reason I kept faith, the only reason I kept faith, is that they didn't run the ball and make us use our final timeout. I thought, now they scored that touchdown on second down. They could have ran the ball again, made us use our second timeout, eat up a little bit more clock, and then easily get the touchdown. And I don't think we would have had a chance to come back down the field. They didn't. And I was like, okay, 54 seconds, one timeout. This is on Caleb and Cairo. And honestly, that throw by Caleb was beautiful, guys. No matter how you felt about how he played earlier in that game, that throw he threw to Loveland was beautiful. Loveland staying up, breaking the tackle, and going downfield to finish the game with a game-winning touchdown. That was insane. All the Colston Loveland haters out there, look, I'm sorry. Tyler Warren can't run that fast. And Tyler Warren's not scoring that touchdown. Colston Loveland did, though. You got to love that guy. You got to love him, man. 2 touchdowns. What did he finish with on the day, man? Whew. So Colston Loveland had 6 catches, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I actually didn't, maybe once or twice, Naj. And then Kyle Monungai came through, our other rookie. This one, the 7th round pick, 26 carries, 176 yards. Caleb threw for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran for another 53 yards, putting him at 333 total yards on the day. Our youngsters carried us today. The Tyson Bagent pass to Caleb Williams. Let's look. Oh, I forgot about Caleb's receiving yards. Timeout. If you add in his receiving yards as well, that's going to be 350 total yards and 4 total touchdowns for Caleb Williams. One of the best games of his career. I almost forgot he had the receiving touchdown and he had the touchdown, or he had the other reception from Tyson Bagent. Ben Johnson was in his bag today. Now, this is crazy, guys. There was a lot of ups. There was a lot of downs in this one. Letting them get the onside kick at the end of the game, that was a terrible play. Daniel Hardy did not let the ball go 10 yards. There was a lack of awareness on that play. No reason should he have touched that ball before it traveled 10 yards. I was so angry at that one. And I thought that if we would have lost the game on that, it honestly would have been one of the worst losses I've ever seen in my life. But instead, Caleb is able to drive them downfield. Colston Loveland shrugs off a tackle and marches into the end zone. And these are not the same old Bears. This is what I've been saying. This is what I've been waiting for. Games like this in past regimes, we would have lost. Plain and simple. With our previous head coaches, whether it was Matt Nagy, even if it was Lovie Smith, whether it was Matt Eberflus, no one even remembers his name, but any of those coaches, any of those regimes, we would have lost this game. This team has resilience. They don't quit. Now, obviously, you cannot give up, guys. We got to put this stat up there. You cannot let Joe Flacco throw for 470 yards. So, is not a perfect effort. No one needs to be celebrating or taking this too much, but a win is a win. And people who have grown up Bears fans and watched Bears football their whole lives, these are kind of wins. These are kind of games that we've simply never won. My entire life, games like this, we've always found a way to lose them. And this one, that's what it felt like when Joe Flacco threw that touchdown and they went up 42-41. That felt like what we've all seen watching the Bears our whole lives. That's what it's always felt like. But then when Caleb got the ball back, he ran for the first down, and then he throws a dot to Colston Loveland. Those are the things we have not seen growing up as Bears fans. So that was incredible. And Rich is saying it too. This is the other biggest part of today's win was not just the Bears winning. A game we had to win, by the way. But the Packers lost to the Panthers. The Panthers are still doing the Bears favors ever since the trade, the number 1 pick trade in DJ Moore. The Carolina Panthers came through and beat the Green Bay Packers today. And then the Lions lost to the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings and Bears both get a win, but the Packers and Lions both lose. Crazy stuff, guys. Let me know in the chat how crazy of a victory this was or how it felt. These are games we don't normally win. That's the bottom line. Plank says it, but you have to remember how bad our defense was. Now, the one good part where our defense was good, yes, we gave up 470 passing yards to Joe Flacco, but we held the Bengals to just 46 yards rushing. And I know you guys saw Austin Booker out there as well. Austin Booker making some plays. I will say a couple of those passes, it seemed like they just let T. Higgins push Nashawn Wright off him every time. Now, Nashawn Wright is a skinny cornerback. Nashawn Wright's a little guy, but there was a couple of those plays where Nashawn Wright is right there in coverage, and you literally see T. Higgins just push him away, and there's no calls of pass interference. And with the sketchy offensive pass interference calls they've called on us this year, I was questioning those. But 470 yards, someone said it. Look, that's an embarrassment, right? Giving up 470 yards to 40-year-old Joe Flacco, that's terrible. But this wasn't a lucky win. You can't say lucky. This is a game where we went down there and punched him right back in the face. And Caleb Williams, here's the thing, guys. Even if Colston Loveland doesn't break that tackle and take that one to the house, that throw by Caleb, we were in a perfect position right there. Colston goes down. We run up to the line. We clock the ball. We have about probably 15 to 20 seconds, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact time. I could probably check the play-by-play. Somewhere around there. And then we can either throw one into the end zone, but either way, we were in field goal range to win that game. So there was 25 seconds. So Colston Loveland, after he caught that, we probably would have ran up there and spiked it somewhere in between 12 and 17 seconds. I'd say at least 12 seconds. But you'd have at least 12 seconds there to throw another pass into the end zone or go ahead and just kick the field goal and win the game. Yeah, I have heard that. There are multiple reports now from ESPN reporters and other guys on Twitter that the Bears are expected to be aggressive before the trade deadline. I made a video on it last night, covered pretty much all of the realistic targets that are out there when it comes to edge rushers and cornerbacks. But this is one where you can see it. We can still use some help on the defense, guys. Deo Odangbo has not been good enough. Austin Booker provided a spark today. But this is a game the Bears needed to win. If we lost this game, if we would have lost, this is one of those ones that would have been a backbreaker. And a lot of people don't realize that confidence and momentum, they're real things in the NFL. And you could see it last year when our team had started out 4-2. After we lost that game to the Hail Mary to the Commanders, it broke the spirit of everyone in our locker room. And after that, this team went on a 10-game losing streak. Oh, my man Plank gifting 5 Swift Sports memberships. Plank, the MVP. Appreciate you, Plank, my man. Much love to Plank. Actually, let me show this off because Plank sent me this. I'm about to open it. I'm going to open it after this victory, but I do have a Bears 100 scrapbook here sent over by my man Plank. Love it, man. Oh, so special teams, another issue. Special teams is an issue. Our passing defense is a huge issue. We gave up 120 yards to Higgins, 111 to Jamar Chase. But 470 yards passing is too much. Now, Colston Loveland, that's probably the biggest news of the day. Colston Loveland's breakout game, Kyle Monungai's breakout game, because we're expecting things like this from Colston Loveland. But a lot of people weren't expecting this from my guy, Kyle Monungai. I've been a huge fan of Monungai since we drafted him. I think he runs a lot like Ashton Genty does, and he's a guy who's a really good in between the tackles, but he showed it today. Monungai's got enough speed to last in the NFL as well. He's got the speed. Not so little Plank, my man. That's Plank's son out here. But we got to look at it. The one thing that I was really mad about, I'll talk about Cairo Santos in just a second. But Tremaine Edmonds pick six, man, that should have been a pick six. I don't like that call there. When I grew up, I remember watching it. If the player touches the guy and results in him falling to the ground, then that counts as touching him down, right? But when you're falling backwards and your finger grazes against someone's shoulder when they're diving for an interception, to me, you're not downing him on the ground. So when they ruled Tremaine Edmonds down on that one, I do not agree with that call. And if the Bears would have lost this game, that could have been a back-breaking call. To me, that's a pick six. You have to push the guy. Now, if he would have pushed him and Edmonds kind of falls as he's catching it, then that is when you gets ruled down. Or you touch him when he's on the ground. But your finger scraping his jersey as you're falling backwards and you're in no way, shape, or form making him fall down, I couldn't believe that. But yeah, Caleb's clutch gene is what I think we've seen it multiple times this year already. Now, for the Justin Fields people out there, there's still people who talk about it every week that we should have kept Justin Fields, this or that. Listen, Caleb Williams already has more fourth quarter comeback victories in his career than Justin Fields does in his 5 years in the NFL. Caleb's done that in less than 20 or in right around 20 games. So what is that? A couple over 20 now. So we got to stop that talk, guys. But let's talk about Cairo Santos, because I think we saw it today. Whether or not that field goal was blocked, I didn't see a good review of it. But I'm not comfortable with Cairo over 50 yards anyway. He's had issues all year. And Jake Moody is right there on our practice squad, man. I've also, not even just the field goals that were missed, but the opening kickoff. Did anyone see Cairo Santos's attempted tackle on that kickoff? All he had to do was kind of slow the guy down, maybe trip him up a little bit and let someone else get up there. Cairo Santos just kind of fell backwards, lunged with one arm, and didn't even touch the guy. And he walked right into the end zone. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Look, I've liked Cairo Santos. I think he's been a good kicker for the Bears for a long time now. But I think Jake Moody is a lot better long-term option. He has a bigger leg. He can kick from deeper. And over the course of the next couple of years, it would actually save us some money on the salary cap as well. So I'm just under the impression right now, if we had Jake Moody today, maybe Moody would. I saw someone say that today, man. If Moody would have tackled him, that would have been enough right there to say, look, we need Moody out there. But I'm worried about it, J2K. With Moody, I'm worried for one reason. He's on our practice squad, and any day now, another team can call up Jake Moody's agent and say, we want to sign him to the 53-man roster. And Jake Moody, he's not going to turn down a shot at going and being able to sign on a 53-man roster and actually having a guaranteed paycheck while he's sitting on our practice squad. Now, one thing that Greg Gabriel talked about, a lot of fans don't know, the Bears can protect two players every week at the beginning, and no one knows who they protect except us, as far as fans and media. They don't know. People, the Bears in the front office know, and other teams know, but the Bears could protect Cairo Santos from getting snatched up. But whether or not they're doing that right now, we don't know. But I really do think Jake Moody should be a guy. I think I said Santos there, but Jake Moody is the guy who should be protected on the practice squad. If not, he can be signed at any time. So right now, that is something I think we need to look into. Special teams is an issue. Cairo just doesn't have a huge leg, whereas someone like Jake Moody, he's got that big time leg, man. He can kick 59, 60-yard field goals even. And just having a guy you could send out there, say before halftime, and it's a 59 or 62-yard field goal, but there's no time left on the clock. Instead of throwing up a Hail Mary, you got a guy who could potentially hit those kind of field goals. That changes the game sometimes. But guys, enough of the Cairo Santos talk. We're on to the Giants game with a thrill. Look at Eric Harper gifting 10 subs. My man, Eric, how are you guys feeling after this victory? This is one of those games that in classic Bears fashion, up and down, up and down. You had to live with the emotions. We were on the edge of our seat. At the end of the game, I got to admit it, guys, I was so mad until the Bengals scored. But as soon as they got that, as soon as they scored and got the 2-point conversion, I literally was like, it would be so Chicago Bears for the Bengals to get this onside kick and then go down the field and score a touchdown. And I just felt it. I just felt it. And then it happened. To see it happen right when I saw Daniel Hardy attack the ball, he's touching it before 10 yards. And then Joe Flacco has been carving up our defense the entire game. Yeah, shout out to my man, Eric. Eric, how are you feeling, man? Let me get a comment in the chat. How are you feeling after this win? What were you thinking? Our defense couldn't stop Joe Flacco. But Caleb Williams is delivering on the one thing that we've all wanted for our entire life is when we get the ball with under 2 minutes to go and we have an opportunity to score and take the lead or win the game. Almost every time in our life, we've not done it. Justin Fields couldn't do it. Mitch Trubisky couldn't do it. Heck, even going back to when we went to the Super Bowl last, Rex Grossman usually couldn't do it either. If we won those games, it was usually Devin Hester, a Peanut Tillman punch out, a peanut punch, or an interception or something. It was never Rex Grossman. Hey, Bears get the ball with 40 seconds left, and Grossman throws a bomb down the field to Bernard Berrien. That's just not even Jay Cutler and them. Cutler usually didn't do it. Cutler would get the ball in the fourth quarter, and he'd throw an interception to a defensive tackle. And you'd just be sitting there like, did he just throw an interception to BJ Raji? A 350. So many times we've seen that kind of stuff. But with Caleb, it does feel different. And I'm not 100% positive on Caleb's game today. I think Caleb struggled. He still holds the ball and tries to play. He tries the hero ball a little bit too much, where he's going to run around and try to just run around in the backfield. The one thing I saw today, and I feel like this has to be Ben Johnson, there was less of Caleb running circles in the pocket. And instead, when Caleb went to run in the pocket, he'd run around a little bit, but then he would take off upfield. And I feel like that has to be a coaching point from Ben Johnson, because Caleb in high school, in college at USC, and at Oklahoma, he would not like to run the ball. And he's even said it. Caleb himself has said in interviews, he's talked about it, that he would rather stay in the pocket and look for a way to beat teams with his arm than to just take off and running, even though he is very athletic. And that's been one of his biggest issues the last year and a half from his rookie season, even going back to college. I felt like today I saw a lot more. Caleb would start to scramble, and then he would say, I got to get upfield. And to me, that has to be coming from Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is like, look, man, I don't want you scrambling around in the pocket for 15 seconds trying to find. He's like, you can keep your eyes downfield when you scramble, but you make one guy miss in the backfield and then you take off upfield. And I believe I saw that today. And that was probably my biggest development from this game from Caleb Williams is I saw more of that. And I saw him make some better throws in the pocket. I saw someone said he's not a pocket passer here. Look, beautiful pocket pass, the game-winning touchdown pass to Colston Loveland. But again, the other play that got me here, two big clutch passes from Caleb Williams to Colston Loveland. The other one, I was mad about this one too, guys. 3rd and goal from the 1 yard line, right? Monungai came up about six inches, a foot or two short of scoring a touchdown. But we got 3rd and goal, need about half a yard. Monungai's ready to punch it in. Bears get a delay of game. It wasn't even a false start this time. It was a delay of game. Suddenly it's 3rd and goal from the 6 yard line. And that's one of those penalties that usually kills our drives. Instead of being 3rd and goal from the 1, it's 3rd and goal from the 6. Caleb steps back, 3-step drop, fires an absolute rocket. Colston Loveland, touchdown, and he got it back. That was a huge play, and that was, to me, one of the clutchest plays of the entire game. Even maybe more clutch than the final touchdown pass. That was a beautiful one, where it's like, okay, I thought here we go again. And when we got the delay a game and we're going back, I'm like, delay a game. Now we're going to end up having to settle for a field goal. But beautiful throw there from Caleb, getting Colston Loveland that first TD. He comes in later and gets the second TD. I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, you said it right there, Flying Scotsman. 4 touchdowns total for Caleb. That's including his receiving touchdown. 355 total yards from scrimmage. I got to say this, though. My boy, I see people talking about Theo Benedict. I'll get there in a second. But my boy, Rome Odunze, man, I've been defending him all year from people talking about his drops all year. Today, look at Rome. 3 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards. And you got to credit at least 1 or 2 of those as a drop. At least 1 or 2 drops. Oh, my man, Immortal. You guys are killing me today. Rome, hey, Immortal. I know that's your guy right there, man. The University of Washington, the Husky, Rome Odunze. You guys know he's one of my favorite players on the team. But his hands this season have been an issue. And today they were an issue as well. Rome's one of those guys. He has wide receiver number 1 potential. He has the potential to, in my opinion, be one of the better wide receivers in the league. He's having some issues holding on to balls right now. So hopefully Rome can get that together. I'm just addressing everything in the chat, but super positive with a win today. The only thing I'm not positive about, for the most part, is giving up 470 passing yards to Joe Flacco. You can't really be happy with that, but you got to be happy with the victory here. 21-year-old Colston Loveland over a 23-year-old Tyler Warren. He's faster. He's a better route runner. And you saw it on that game-winning touchdown catch, man. This is his breakout game. We have not seen the best of Colston Loveland yet. 6 catches, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, 58-yard game-winning touchdown. That's a statement play for the young rookie, and that's a play we're going to remember for years, guys. A 58-yard, our backs are against the wall there. Caleb throws a dime, and when you see Loveland catch it, like, who knows what's going through? And going through my mind is he needs to get down fast so we can get up there, spike the ball, and have time for the field goal. Instead of getting down, though, Loveland shrugs off a tackle, and he just beelines it to the end zone, outruns the secondary, and that's something most tight ends in the NFL can't do. This is a guy who's a legit weapon, and that's why I've talked about it. He's going to be our number 1 or number 2 option in the passing game going forward. Loveland is going to stay a big part of this offense. And huge play today by Colston Loveland. A breakout game for him. Let me see. You do have to give the Bengals credit. Their wide receivers are awesome. I also thought T. Higgins got away with a couple of pass interferences. I was honestly surprised that Jamar Chase didn't do more. I felt like they could have targeted Jamar Chase a little bit more, but maybe we were double teaming him and we couldn't see a lot of it. So that's one of the things we'll have to wait to see from the all 22. But Jamar Chase only had 111 yards today. I know that's tough saying only 111 yards, but I felt like he could have got more coming. Loveland, great point by DJ Profit here. He's really good as a blocker. He's actually a lot better blocker than I gave him credit for when it comes to just one-on-one blocking guys. Watching his Michigan tape, he was really good downfield on blocks, especially in the run game. But he's been taking some defensive ends on one-on-one. You see him all day. He did it today. Now, there was one play. I don't know if you saw this one, J2K, because you saw it here. There was a play where he was in space. Caleb had rolled out to the right, and Loveland is blocking the guy right in front of Caleb for about 3-4 seconds. But then he lets him go, or he gets by because you don't want to get the holding call. And Loveland is just wide open right there. And Caleb, I thought it was just such an easy pass. You just dump the ball right there to Colston Loveland, and he probably gets a first down. Instead, Caleb chucked it downfield. It was incomplete, but I thought Loveland was awesome. And he's a guy I've seen so much hate for Colston Loveland, especially on social media when you're on Twitter or you're listening to other podcasters or whatever. A lot of people are saying this is a guy who was a bust as a first round pick. We definitely shouldn't have taken him. I got a comment the other day. I think this was just yesterday, honestly, that someone was, I can't believe we took Colston Loveland. They were talking about some tight end that got drafted in the 5th round. I think Gadsden's done pretty good. Fannon's done pretty good. And then he was talking about Warren. He was talking about Mason Taylor, but all the tight ends and we took Colston Loveland. Guys, you can't give up to guys 7 or 8 games into their career. Colston Loveland is a baller, and he's going to be a huge part of this offense. Now, I've been waiting for that breakout game. I got to say it. I've been waiting for it. I've expected more from Loveland, but we saw it today, man. He is a weapon on offense. If he continues playing like this and he can stay on the field, this will be huge, man. Huge win for the Bears. 47-42, guys. I know our defense was awful. You can't get around that. But I did just want to, I gave let me give Monungai a little bit more flowers, but 26 carries, 176 yards. His legs never stopped churning. He almost always got off the first tackle. He was bouncing off guys. And honestly, today, he looked more like Ashton Jeanty than Ashton Jeanty has most of this season. So you really got to love what Kyle Monungai brings to this team. I think once DeAndre Swift is back, we're going to have 2 running backs that can really get after it. But Monungai could end up being the 1A. He could end up getting more carries than DeAndre Swift. And then like DJ Profit says right here, you let DeAndre Swift come in as the change of pace back. You run him outside the tackle. You get him involved in some screen passes. And not only that, but he's going to be fresher because Monungai is going to be coming in, running straight up between the tackles. And DeAndre Swift has a chance to be really good as a change of pace back. Yeah, Monungai is our new David Montgomery, basically. He definitely should get Rookie of the Week. The only way he doesn't get Rookie of the Week, look, and this is where it'd be us here, Colston Loveland, because Loveland only had 118 yards, not as many yards as Monungai. But in the NFL, those 2 TDs and the game-winning touchdown, I think if it comes down to it, people are going to pick Loveland over Monungai. But either one of those guys could be in line for Rookie of the Week. They both balled out today, and you got to give Ben Johnson some credit. We had 4 different players throw passes today. DJ Moore threw the touchdown pass to Caleb Williams. Cole Kmet threw a strike to Rome Odunze, but Odunze dropped it. And Tyson Bagent Caleb lateraled it back to Tyson Bagent. Bagent throws it for Caleb's 2nd reception of the game. It was kind of crazy, guys. Ben Johnson was in his bag today. I saw some calls that I haven't seen called in my life before, but this was a crazy win. Everyone, let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this one. I'll be back to break down the good, the bad, and the ugly from this game, and I'll talk more in depth about some of the things that happened. But I kind of just wanted to go live for a little bit, celebrate with you guys, and just bask in that victory, man, because it was a game that I'm still kind of pinching myself, like, how did we win it? Caleb Williams, he has that clutch gene. Colston Loveland got it done. I did see someone in the chat saying Caleb Williams is at the podium. So I'll go ahead and cut this off, guys. We can all go watch Caleb Williams, see what he has to say in his post-game presser. And I'll be back to break it down a little bit more later tonight in a couple of hours. I'm going to go ahead and watch. I always watch the condensed game. If you guys don't watch those, NFL Plus is awesome for it. Not a sponsor or anything, but NFL Plus has the condensed games. You can watch the whole game in like 30 minutes and kind of refresh everything that happened. But what a win, guys. Not good for our blood pressure, but an incredible game that I'm not going to forget anytime soon. This is one that it was ugly. It was fun. There was almost 90 points scored. We had some highs, we had some lows, but at the end of the day, you got to love our rookies balling out. Colston Loveland and Kyle Monungai, they get the game balls today. And Ben Johnson, this is a real head coach. We got the New York Giants next week. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers and Minnesota Vikings after that. But the Bears go to 5-3. Packers lose. Lions lose as well. I'll be back later tonight, guys. Hit the like button, hype up this video for me, and bear down. I'll see you soon.